like?
New week.
Good morning.
Yes, yeah.
Let me start say hello because I see you. That's why I say I feel like.
Oh, okay. Morning, hi.
Good morning.
Hi.
This is Mr. Bokasa.
Okay. Okay. Maybe our colleagues, those who have another boss barat behind, they may join us.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Senta com a gente.
Colleagues, I'm Malusi Mkhale.
She's the one that get this place for us, though.
Oh, okay.
Good
Thank
morning.
you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Malusi Mkhale. The last time I was told I was a Consul General of the Republic of South Africa. I came because I was hijacked yesterday by one Mohammed, and he said there's a meeting today, the meeting that he could not even attend. I thought my colleagues were going to come. So he just said, come. Probably he knew that he would not be around. So I'm happy that I came. As you know, what makes us here. But before we could start with the meeting, let me, there are two issues that I want to raise. One, that we would like us, all of us, to bow our heads down in recognition of the passing away of a freedom fighter and the founding president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, President Robert Mugabe. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you. Secondly, you may be aware of what really is happening, in particular in South Africa, about what is called xenophobic attacks on foreign nationals. And the president last night has issued a stern warning that those perpetrators, actually about 400 people have already been arrested by the South African government, who are behind the attacks on foreign nationals. In as much as some of the demands that they raise are legitimate, of the drug peddlers and so on, but the South African government subscribes to the rule of law, and therefore it will not allow anybody or anyone to take law into his or her own hands. You might be aware that we recognize our struggle and our freedom, and we dedicate our struggle, our freedom, to the African continent. We said our people, we stayed in those countries, they looked after us when it was not so fashionable to do so. And therefore, criminal elements want to hijack some of the genuine concerns, genuine or not, so some, to make them foreign and make them problems and ascribe those problems to foreigners. We condemn that, and as government will never and ever promote any other effort that is geared towards hatred of African people. So I thought I must deal with this issue so as before we proceed with the meeting.
Good morning, General, Honorable Consul General. I'm very happy with your statement, and because the house belongs to the public, according to the person that get the place to us, we need to do the translation. I hope somebody can do the translation to us, because everything we do here will be recorded. Anybody to do the translation, please?
I think I can do that.
Oh.
So, by
Well, my name is Dina. I work with Mr. Mohammed Al Khatib from the Embassy of Egypt. I can just make the translations, and I have some points for the meeting too. So I don't know if it's okay or not. So
Okay, it's fine.
it's fine for me.
I don't have issue.
Okay. So I just got the meeting right now. When you start just to talk again, so then I can just start the translation.
And then?
Arrived. So,
Oh,
Yes, I just arrived right now.
no, she didn't hear the first part.
she didn't. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
yeah. I think the chief. I must go back. I must repeat what I said.
Okay.
I'll be so brief. We started by paying homage to the founding president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, President Robert Mugabe, on his passing away. And we said, may his soul rest in peace.
May I make the translation? Or I will be lost. Eu tô falando pra TV, né? Então tá bom. Ele tá falando sobre o presidente do Zimbábue, que acabou de falecer. E que... You can continue. O ex-presidente, desculpa. Thank you. Robert Mugabe. I'm sorry. Sometimes a little hard.
You can do this translation, okay. Can you do
The
this translation?
translation, Gloria. Yes,
Okay.
fine.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. The second,
He just reported about the passing of the president.
Fala em português.
Acabou dando relatório sobre o falecimento do presidente Robert Mugabe, que é lutador de liberdade para Zimbábue. E fizemos uma homenagem para o senhor Mugabe.
secondly, I spoke about the South African government's condemnation of attacks on foreign nationals.
Em segundo lugar, ele falou sobre a situação na África do Sul, de ataque dos estrangeiros na África do Sul.
And that more than 400 people have already been arrested.
E mais de 400 pessoas foram aprisionadas relacionadas a esse caso.
Okay. So you are covered now.
Now it's my turn.
Yeah, we are going to.
Okay. Colleagues, as you may know, that the former chair Mohammed and team have been discussing preparations for the next year Africa Day. And he happened to have briefed me some of the things that might be in addition for next year event. And unfortunately, these minutes were sent to me as I was beginning to sit down here. So I haven't had an opportunity to go through them. However, what he says, and that's what is the big summary, he said, we're still going to follow what we agreed upon on the previous events that we had in the previous Africa Day. However, an addition will be that there will be a marathon. And we need to engage other relevant bodies in Sao Paulo that are supposed to be organizing that marathon. And therefore, I could see, I just read the preamble of the minutes. The translators are talking amongst themselves.
No, we are just like
We are
making
trying
sure
to
that
do-
she will just prepare the translation. Gloria will
Yeah.
start.
He actually just received acabou de receber minutos, né, do último reunião que trata a preparação para o próximo próximo dia, a Semana da África, ano que vem, e o senhor Mohamed falou que poderíamos continuar, né, dentro dos coisas que já foram combinadas nos últimos reuniões. We are going to continue from where
A gente vai continuar os mesmos eventos que aconteceram no ano passado com o African Day, só que dessa vez a gente vai adicionar a maratona.
maratona.
Yes.
I know you already. I took liberty as you were doing your, just to go through. I'm not the Superman. I could not finish all of them. But the general principle is that you have committees. There's committee on communication. There's somebody who should be responsible. Nara Pires.
O fato é que vocês criarem comitês, né, para comissões que vão lidar com várias atividades durante essa semana.
Okay, so the approach should then be, let the coordinators, including Shanaz and others, let the coordinators begin to report on the work done.
Okay.
And I think that will make us to have this meeting finish much more quicker.
Vamos começar assim. Tem todos os coordenadores das comissões, iniciando com a Xaná, dar relatório do que eles já fizeram até agora.
Your Excellency, Consul General, if I may request, with your permission, Dina from Mohammed's office to lead us as she has the coordinating points for the meeting.
Sugerir que Dina pode coordenar essa reunião, como que ela tem todos os pontos relacionados à última reunião que o cônsul não atendeu, né?
Agreed.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
If
because
everyone agrees, I'm in.
agreed, because we have been having this with the coordination of Mr. Mohammed, and the way, like I am the president of African Cultural Center, we have been doing the event before, but with the help of Mr. Mohammed, the event came better with what we have been doing, because with the inclusion of the consulates, we are able to be much more part of the government level. And Mr. Mohammed did a wonderful job, and that's why we expect him to do some other thing.
A casa concorda que haja essa coordenação pela Dina, porque por causa das reuniões prévias que já foram realizadas, relacionadas a esta preparação que visa participação bem ativa dos consulados e governos, né? Dos governos através dos consulados.
And in view of South Africa is going to be the next president of the African Union, we decided that the Consulate of South Africa in São Paulo will lead the next event.
Por causa do fato que a África do Sul vai ser próximo presidência da União África, gostaríamos que a África do Sul dirigir a próxima evento
2020.
de 2020.
So, as a matter of fact, Mr. Mohammed had the control of the coordination on hand, and which Dina, which is there, she's there with us, has 100% of the coordination with him. So I think Dina will be able to tell us what and who that has been in certain position.
Por isso, sugerimos que a Dina pode coordenar a reunião, por ter tudo informação, e ele vai poder nos informar melhor dos passos que já foram tomados.
Felix, can I do this thing to do justice?
Yes, of course.
Okay, ele gostaria alguns minutos.
These are briefing points that are coming from Mohammed.
Esses são pontos que vêm do
I
Mohammed.
hope we have a pen and a paper to write.
It's here.
Desejo que todo mundo tenha
Or
papel e
each
caneta
one
para
of you,
escrever.
I don't
each one of you has a phone where these minutes have been sent to.
Ou cada de vocês pode ser mandado pelos seus telefones.
Because this is going to form part of our approach to the meeting.
E isso vai definir a direção dessa reunião.
I'm going to read these things, probably then we'll go through them in that order.
Vou ler essas coisas e nós vamos ponto a ponto com eles.
May I just have a question here? I would like just to make sure that it's everyone here agreed with about the division of the groups.
Gostaria
For the
de saber que todo
commitments.
mundo que estava com a divisão dos grupos estivesse aqui. Né? Ou as pessoas que estavam presentes na divisão dos grupos.
Yes, some part of the event has been delegated for some people, like the area of marathon was given to Madam the last day.
Área da maratona.
No, colleague, let's answer that question.
Ok, vamos
It's
responder
just a doubt.
questão.
Because I will not be able to answer it. I was not there in the last meeting.
Não vou poder responder,
The
não
question-
estava na outra
The
reunião.
question is, has all of you agreed
Yes.
Sim,
of formation of committees? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
então vocês
That was the
concordam com a
question.
formação.
That was
That
the
was the question, yes.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that
Missions.
it's everything agree with that,
Yes.
but we don't
So,
have like,
it's okay. The answer is in the affirmative. It's yes.
A resposta é afirmativa. É isso.
So already I said I didn't want to go through each and every because the fact that I wanted to go through the minutes, it was just because I wanted to guide the meeting into a particular direction. It should not be wishy-washy. I'm guided by what you discussed, not what is coming from the bottom of my pile or
Eu queria ler esses minutos para definir, né, a direção da reunião, porque eu vou ser orientado pelo o que eu recebi. Ok.
Chair, Your Excellency, the group coordinators were a suggestion from Mohammed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't discussed in the last meeting, just groupings, but the coordinators' names
Were
were
attached to
sent now and suggested recently by Mohammed.
Está
So
clarificando.
we need to just reiterate,
Okay.
go
Taking
through
cue
that.
from that.
Está clarificando que as reuniões foram, a questão de comissões foi a sugestão que o senhor Mohamed fez e colocou alguns nomes relacionados às comissões, mas não foi completamente definidos. Então, por exemplo,
Taking cue from that, with the suggested names, is there anybody who fundamentally opposed for his or her name being suggested to head a committee?
olhando que já teve sugestões dos nomes, será que tem alguém que tem objeção em relação a essa sugestão de tipo da comissão?
We have an objection because AfroCham not agree with the suggestion from Elective.
You cannot?
no, that Afro Chamber doesn't agree. They disagree with the suggestion.
Afro Chamber, no, approval.
I also disagree.
To help me, if you disagree, make a proposal. So as we need to move forward, we should not come back to you and say, why do you disagree? Because you disagree with the reason.
Yeah.
So do you get what I'm trying to say? Say, no, I disagree with the approach My proposal is X, Y, and Z. It helps in a meeting.
Como se você não concorda ou não aceita a proposta, por favor, pode falar a razão ou sugerir quem poderia, né, executar esse pode sugerir outra alternativa.
Okay, I will speak in Portuguese and a Afrochamber fez trabalho nesse ano, com o Centro Cultural Africano, no sentido de promover o Fórum Econômico.
Okay, Afro Chamber worked in partnership with the African Center, Cultural Center this year in promoting economic.
Fórum Econômico de Soluções.
Forum.
Primeiro Fórum Econômico de Soluções.
The first economic forum of solutions, with solutions.
Yes. E também a solenidade de abertura oficial do Dia da África.
And also the officials in the opening of the Day of Africa, the event.
Nós achamos que fizemos bom trabalho e gostaríamos de, para esse próximo ano, fazermos a segunda edição do Fórum Econômico de Soluções e a abertura da solenidade do Dia da África.
So they thought they did a good job this year with these two activities of economic forum and the opening, the solemn opening of the Day of Africa. So they would love to do the second session in next year.
Yes. E como nós trabalhamos...
It's okay. Is there anybody who's agreeing to the proposal?
Yes.
The Afro Chamber wants to do the same what they did in the previous year. Agreed?
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay.
Everybody agreed that the Afro Chamber should continue.
Okay.
But unfortunately, Mr. Mohamed mistakenly put ECO as the other
All right.
Forum Economic.
for the
Yes.
Forum Economy.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it was a mistake, but I think we must have rectified the mistake.
Colleagues, wait, who's taking minutes?
Quem está anotando minutos, né?
Are you taking minutes?
Yes, I'm taking.
Minutos
Okay.
da reunião.
Why? What do you need?
No. Because I want to know who's recording the discussions in the meeting.
No, I have here. And by the way, they are just making record. So if we need, we can just take it.
No, I'm recording even from my head, but I just want because
No, I have here.
I'm
yes,
going
don't-
to repeat what all this meeting has said after when we close in the meeting.
Enquanto ele quer saber que tem minutos para que no final pode fazer resumo do que foi tratado.
But secondly, prior 5 days after this meeting has been held, everybody must be sent minutes for correction. And
No, seria correto que antes, 2, 3 dias antes dessa reunião, todo mundo poderia mandar minutos, né, para sejam corrigidos, né?
this will allow everybody to be reminded of the task at hand.
Isso vai ajudar para que cada lembre a responsabilidade, né, que para tomar.
So we've noted that the Afro Chamber is going to coordinate the activities that they've coordinated last year.
Aqui concordamos todo mundo que a Afro Chamber vai realizar atividades que eles fizerem esse ano que vem.
By the way, the Afro Chamber should have a name.
Afro Chamber tem que ter nome.
We must attach a name of a person as a coordinator.
Ok. Tem que ter figura responsável da Afro Chamber. Ligado
I
para a
would like just
atividade.
to say some things because the guy from the TV was recording. He would like just everyone who starts to talk just for one time just to say the name and where it is working, like
Okay.
from the consulate or from Centro Cultural, just for they record that and knows who's talking or not.
All right. Agreed.
A televisão gostaria de que, só por minuto, cada fala seu nome e onde vem, que entidade que ele representa.
Colleagues, we need to move. I have another scheduled appointment by 12:15.
So,
So the marathon, who heads the marathon? I think we are done with the Afri Chamber now.
Yes, we are done with the African, but the only, my name is Otumba Adekunle Aderomo. I'm the president of African Cultural Center.
Yes.
And we are...
We'll come to the role that center.
Mr. Atomba, he is the director of the African Cultural Center.
Yes.
Ele estou falando correto, né?
Colleagues, let's be structured. You know why I want to structure this process? Everybody's going to talk. Everybody is going to have a role.
Todo mundo vai falar.
But I want a structured process.
Estrutura primeiro.
And that's why I want to go through organizations, especially those that played a role in the previous year, to confirm and they will be confirming their role. Now we said we are waiting for, this is a new aspect of the marathon.
Ok, o que ele quer fazer para estruturar? Todo mundo que participou no último Semana da África, ele quer verificar já as suas posições e tudo para poder proceder.
My name is, good morning to you all. My name is Netai Lois Magade. I'm from the Zimbabwe Trade Office here in Sao Paulo. I'm a minister, council later. I have been appointed to coordinate the marathon group, and I have no objection to that. As a matter of fact, I've actually already begun to do some groundwork, and I'm going to report when the time comes on what I've since covered. But I'm heading the marathon group. Thank you.
Senhora Mugabe é cônsul da Zimbábue, né? É comissão
da maratona.
Ele é comissão da maratona e já começou a fazer ações iniciais para.
Só uma observação, duas observações, na verdade. A Afrochamber também não concorda com a divisão de tarefas por pessoas, porque eu, por exemplo, trabalho para a Afrochamber. Eu não poderia estar sendo representada com o meu nome, sim com o nome da instituição.
A Afrochamber, a Afrochamber não concorda com
It's in English,
com nomes, pelo nomes, precisa. Não.
It's okay.
Okay. The Afro Chamber would like to point out that they don't agree with appointment of individuals, but the establishment, the group, as a group, because she can take another responsibility because she already belongs to Afro Chamber. So they don't approve on the appointment of individuals for the commissions, especially related to the Afro Chamber.
Maybe I'm in a wrong meeting.
No, you're not. Why? No, the groups, they were dividing by names. What Afro Chamber is just trying to say is that they disagree to make groups with it's like from NARA and not from Afro Chamber.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said maybe I'm in a wrong meeting. Because when you say the South African consulate, there should be somebody responsible in that South African consulate. Yeah. It can't be an institution. An institution has somebody responsible. So when you then say South African consulate, then me, Shanaz, and Mr. Mudau, we just look at each other. Then we say, we smile. Then the smile becomes a report. Nay. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
How it works is that somebody must be responsible for an organization. So as when we want a report on a person, not on an. You see, I don't want to dwell much But who will be representing
Chamber.
African Cultural Center? I will not dwell much as to who represent Afro Chamber. So, but Afro Chamber, when it sits in its own meetings, it will sit and say, no. We have from a meeting, this is what was discussed, this is what we do. When we go to the meeting, so and so will report on behalf of the team. And that's how I work. Unless that's why I said no. If it doesn't work that way, then I'm in a wrong meeting.
Acabou a esclarecer que tem instituição, sim, mas instituição tem que ter representante. Então é importante, ou depois da reunião, estipular quem é, porque se fala só Afro Chamber, todo mundo que está lá é Afro Chamber. Então tem que ter uma pessoa que é estipulado.
Então, o Fórum Econômico e a abertura oficial do Dia da África vai ser no dia 25 de maio. Então, sobre responsabilidade da Afro Chamber, correto?
The event will be on the 25th of March, of May, yes. And this opening will be officially realized by Afro Chamber. Is that correct? She's just verifying this point.
I have a question about that. I'm not sure how would you like to work, but it's me here. So I don't know if, okay, it was like so crazy for this year when we just prepared the economic forum and the opening in the same day. I think it will be good if we just prepare like one day for the economic forum and another day for the opening. I think it works better.
Acho, pela experiência desse ano, foi muito difícil fazer 2 eventos no mesmo dia, organizar. Então, está sugerindo que em ano que vem poderia fazer o fórum em um dia e outro dia fazer a abertura e outro dia fazer o fórum.
Nós achamos que foi bastante proveitoso fazê-los no mesmo dia, porque as mesmas pessoas puderam se encaminhar de um evento para o outro, sendo dias de semana. Fica mais fácil que elas assistam os 2 eventos no mesmo dia do que tirem 2 dias de trabalho para assistir eventos separados.
Afro Chamber says that for them it was very advantageous to do the 2 events in one day because they could use the same people. So same people could move from one place and go to the other event rather than having 2 different days. So Afro Chamber would like to do the 2 events in one day.
Alex, you confuse me.
Your Excellency, is because you have not been attending our meeting.
Of course, I'm not mandated to attend each and every meeting. I'm responsible for about 5 stays in. So, I have my colleagues who attend the meetings. But why I'm saying I'm getting confused?
Ele está ficando meio confuso com informações e o motivo é, the reason is
it's because we discuss process and committees at the same time.
Porque nós estamos discutindo o processo e comitês no mesmo tempo.
I thought we are reconfirming who's doing what.
Por ele gostaria que nós reafirmamos
Then
as comissões.
After discussing who's doing what, then we will discuss a process.
Aí depois, em segundo espaço, discutir o processo.
To make it very simpler for some of us who have never gone to school.
Para simplificar mais, a situação, trazer todo mundo, não.
The point is what Mr. Mohammed put in the platform is just a suggestion that we can work on it. And today is supposed to be the day we work on it, if the person agree or not. And that's exactly what we are doing now. That those ones that were not being accepted is the issue of economic forum, which has been corrected now.
Ok, até agora nós tivemos só olhando o que tinha sugerido como comissões e esclarecendo o que já, né, através dessas outras comissões, esclarecendo o processo.
I think we're all agreeing, but I'm saying we must dichotomize
Yeah.
and distinctively look into issues.
O que ele quer realmente é ponto por ponto, né, sistematizar o processo a direção da reunião.
Okay, so
We're still saying who does what.
Quem,
Africa Chamber knows what is going to be doing.
a primeira questão, quem vai fazer o quê? Agora a African Chamber já sabe o que vai fazer.
Shanaz and company here,
E Shanaz e
and
companhia
Mr. Mudau, they know what they will be doing.
sabe o que vão estar fazendo.
The Africa Cultural Center knows what they will be doing.
E cultura,
Africana.
Centro Cultural Africano já sabe o que vai fazer.
A AfroChamber vai fazer os eventos do dia 25, o Fórum Econômico de Soluções e a abertura oficial do evento junto com o Prêmio África Brasil, em conjunto com o Centro Cultural Africano. O projeto é inteiramente do Centro Cultural Africano e a AfroChamber é colaborador do Centro Cultural Africano.
Okay, actually, Afro Chamber is working in partnership with the African Cultural Center. So they are going to make this forum, economic forum, or the solemn opening, and junto com quem
Em parceria com o Centro Cultural Africano, a cerimônia de abertura.
it's a partner with the Centro Cultural Africano.
see
Kumba.
with this.
Yes.
So actually, it's the Afro Chamber is like this partnership is under the leadership of the African Center. So
partners
they are
in
the
progress.
partners.
We are partners in progress. So we agreed to do
Your partner in crime.
in progress. So we agreed to do the award ceremony together, the opening ceremony, the economic ceremony together, because of the experience we have during within this short period that we have been doing it. So that's why we have
Unbreakable
accepted to do it.
partners. Okay.
You see, there's no problem. What needs to be there is what needs to be detailed. Everybody must understand. I told you I'm a slow learner. I'm not from school. I never went to school. I really slow take. But I want to simplify it.
Okay.
Who does what? So we know. Then after knowing that you said already you are working with your partners in crime. We understand it. Then we'll then say the other partners in crime, how do they join you? Then it becomes a solid program. No, that does not, that at the end of the day, remember at the end of the day, there will be no African Center, there will not be African Chamber, there will not be Africa do Sul, there will not be the Republic of Zimbabwe, there will not be anybody, but there will be
African
an
Union.
African Union program
Okay.
at the end of the day.
Na realidade, vocês já têm as comissões estabelecidas, já têm tudo. O que nós temos que fazer que é avançar e costurar, né, todas essas comissões para que não se torne Afro Chamber ou African Center, para que não se torne também África do Sul, para que se torne um só corpo, né, que trabalha para Dia da África, Semana da África. Né?
But I would like to say some things.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I know that I speak too much, but just
No, it's,
okay. Those groups that Mr. Khatib just prepared for each one, it's because for the last African Day, it was only like 3 persons who just make all of the work, and the others just took like the credit for all of that.
okay.
Okay, so because of that, those suggestions of the names, of
Okay.
course, that I know how the Afro Chamber works, how the Centro Cultural works, and everyone works, but most of them, they even work it, even for just like for a single letter to send for some responsibles for those events that we make for the African Day. So it was just because of that. We know what we can do and we know how we can work. But just because sometimes we don't want that to happen again. Only 3 persons working and the other like 100 doing nothing.
Da experiência passada, houve só 3 pessoas realmente que trabalharam para realizar esse evento. Então, o motivo pelo qual a senhora Mohamed queria cada indivíduo, né, distribuir responsabilidade, é por isso. Mas ela já está esclarecendo esse ponto que ele quer evitar que ano que vem que tenhamos a mesma situação.
Chair, through you, I want to suggest maybe in order for us to move faster. I think even the minutes, even if you receive them now lately, but those points of the different committees we are talking about, you have them there. I will request you to go one by one. Of course, you skip the ones that have already been highlighted. And then you just say if there is anything to report on the ones that are remaining, in order for us to just exhaust that. You go on each of the items that has got a subcommittee representative. And then if there is anything for them to report on, I think that way we will exhaust this item quickly and then we move on to other items.
A sugestão é que o Conselho lê todos os pontos do minuto passado, mesmo que chegou atrasado, aí a gente vai ver que foi já tratado e podemos continuar com o que ainda tem que ser discutido.
You know why I did not follow that? Because there was an objection. And therefore then we then said, no, let's go to each and every committee and get confirmation. And as part of that confirmation, it was, you see, I then said even a new committee, it was and already there's confirmation and there was a rectification that no, Afro Chamber wants to do what it has done yesterday. Not yesterday.
No.
But the last Africa Day. So then, if ever there are no anybody else who make any other contrary proposal, I will assume as if that no, whatever proposal excluding what was amendment, then it's all in place. But the preamble by Mohammed here, you would realize that no, he hasn't received. He hasn't received any. So I'm not speaking from a vacuum. I said I was not from part, but I'm following these minutes. It says he hasn't received any other. So that's why I open a floor here for people to make inputs. I don't want to be Pinochet. You know Pinochet? He was a dictator. So I don't want to be that. I just want everybody to make an input. We move forward.
Estás clarificando que já tudo que tinha dúvidas já foi esclarecido em relação às comissões e corrigido alguns pontos. E agora seria muito importante que vamos para frente. Mas, de acordo com o Conselho Mohamed, não houve a manifestação, não houve respostas ou propostas ainda, né?
Okay, maybe let me just follow up. I'm looking at it, okay, the issue that you are raising, when Mohammed said he didn't receive anything, that was, of course, the preamble of the minutes. He then said, against that background, he has got an idea of proposing the names, which are now proposed. Those who were supposed to have objected, they were supposed to have raised with him, but now we have the one for Afro Chamber, which has been clarified here, is fine. I am saying the marathon, the B2B issue, and then those ones have been clarified here. Now we can go, for instance, there is one which is still outstanding on women, working group on women's events. Then a person who has been nominated for that can then raise whatever they are to report on this meeting, and then we move. You just lead us by saying, now let it be the women group, then they do that.
Okay.
We will exhaust them as soon as, very quickly, and then we move on to other items. That's what I'm.
Can I add to that, maybe before she translates, Mr. Chairman? If, on the issue of the marathon group, indeed I have no objection, but I would just like to put it on record that it's just me in that group alone. I think the idea is to have other people working with me so that when I'm not here, as it is, I'm scheduled to be leaving Brazil. So it would be good that I already begin to work with somebody so that when I'm gone, those people will continue to take over. Maybe we can have volunteers, or the chair, you can also propose who should join. But if there's anybody with a passion, I'll be glad to work with them, but I've already begun to do something. I just thought this should be on record. It's just Magade alone as it is.
Foi primeiro esclarecido que foi definido as comissões que existem aqui, e agora tem alguma coisa com as mulheres, né? Women Commission, né?
É o grupo de mulheres.
Grupo de mulheres, né? Que tem que também definir a posição, a pessoa que foi sugerido, se aprova, e aí podemos ir para frente. E a senhora fala sobre a questão que tinha sugerido no último reunião, que comissões, quem são líderes de comissões, tem que ter parceira, tem que ter duas pessoas, né, assistente, que podem estar aprendendo juntos, né, durante esse processo, porque diplomatas saem do país, mas essas pessoas podem, que permanecem aqui, podem dar continuidade. Obrigada.
Okay. Chair. Your Excellency, can I start with the women's group? And
You're coordinating women's group.
yes, just to clarify, because it's on record, His Excellency has a master's from Stanford University, so he has been to school.
Não,
Because it's on record.
porque ele fala que eu aprendo devagar, não foi para a escola, mas ela está corrigindo. Você foi para a universidade, foi para a escola, sim, vai ter um esquema.
So I would just like to clarify that, Shanaz, it's okay with the women group, right?
I just would like to make an amendment. The last meeting, I launched the African Woman in Business in Brazil, and that's the name of under the auspices of the Africa Chamber. So that's the correct name for the women's event. It's not a general women's, it's specific. So it's called the African Woman in Business in Brazil. And also at the same time, I'm meeting two of the São Paulo women's organizations next week to try and coordinate the event. Thank you.
This was established in the last meeting also.
I launched it in the last.
You launched Mulheres de Negócios no Brasil.
It's called African Woman in Business in Brazil.
African Women in Business. Ela lançou também esse comissão de mulheres africanas em negócio no Brasil, né, no último reunião.
Okay.
E nós vamos ter reunião sobre isso na semana que vem, não é?
Vai ter uma reunião.
Ela vai ter uma
There will
reunião.
be a meeting next week on this commission,
Together with the Africa Chamber. Yeah.
together with the African Chamber. So this will. Okay. Do you want to give the date already?
Could we make this
Okay.
proposal maybe?
Thanks.
Probably it would be able to help. we
Pelo
have a draft program
WhatsApp.
with an update of how far each group has gone in preparations for next year. We know we still have more than plus minus 6 months to go,
Ainda nós
6
temos
to
6
7 months to go.
6 a 7 meses para na frente, mas gostaria de saber o que essas comissões agora já levantarem, né, em relação à preparação do ano que vem.
Nós temos todo o projeto pronto já para a realização do segundo Fórum Econômico de Soluções e para a abertura da solenidade oficial e o Prêmio África Brasil,
They
junto com o
have
Centro
made
Cultural Africano.
They have all the project ready for this for the business economic chamber and the homenaging the homage of authorities and also the opening, the solemn opening.
Want an overarching plan which says 25 opening, 26 business whatever, 27 this 28 this 29 so which is being segmented 30th marathon, something like that, then that will form a basis of further discussions. Because if ever we're gonna, the danger with what we're doing now is that we're gonna discuss in silos. But if ever we have something that then says, no, preparations for the Africa Day 2020, 2020 or 2021, something like that.
2020.
Okay. So I'm sure, probably I'm already expect to be in Pretoria. So then we are able to know that how far are these things? What interventions do we need to do? So by December, January, we should be able to know what are specific interventions we do in favor of each and every sector that does not have that is Am I making sense? Colleagues, in our various trade office, in their own respective pride and so on, they do meet with these other people, other organizations. So when they go, they should always say, no, fierce, we're having this thing, we want your help. Whoever they meet, we want your help. When this gentleman goes to Mokoka or the Campo, he's supposed to be meeting. At the ultimate end, you need to have a bigger and a prosperous event that you need to have that plan. Because as I saw, you remember when I was saying what is my difficulty? My difficulty is that we discuss both process and program and process, and it conflicts. I'm good in doing that because I'm a lawyer. I can confuse you a lot, but I don't want to be very confusing and to confuse you. So that's why I want a systematic way of.
It has gone long. Mas resumo é que o Conselho gostaria que agora definir dia 25, dia 26, 7, 8.
É como se fosse criar um calendário. Cada data com um evento.
O evento. Yeah.
Começando pelo dia 25, então, dia 25 nós gostaríamos de fazer o Fórum Econômico de Soluções, o segundo, e a abertura oficial do Dia da África e colocar os logotipos do Dia da África nos relógios da cidade de São Paulo, do Estado e do Brasil.
Colocar?
O logotipo do Dia da África nos relógios de São Paulo e do Brasil.
Okay. Take your input.
Hello.
It must
Let's translate.
Oh,
what I say.
yeah. I have to turn around. My tongue has gone. Well, they are going to. Afro Chamber is going to do the opening on the 25th, and also the forum, the economic forum, and also they want to put the logotype of Africa in the
All
The clocks.
all the
clocks,
of
the city,
and
the
state and the
the
country.
street clocks and okay, in the city and within the country.
Yes.
No. Make a proposal. And everybody else has something in writing in front of him or her. Then we decide to consolidate. Then we then say, no, okay, instead of studying on the 20th, why don't we start on the 23rd? Even whatever would be happening. Remember some of the other things, maybe I haven't said, but I think I said so even at the beginning. We are guided by, we will be guided by what will be, heads of states will be making pronouncement immediately after the 25th of January from Ethiopia. There will be what you call a declaration of the heads of state. And that declaration defines the content and form of what the event should take. We don't have events out of the vacuum. Events are held with emphasis of the theme which the heads of states have agreed upon. At this point in time, we are just defining the events, the activities. But the content should, or the theme should then be able to inform the character and form of what we should be able to, given the program that would be adopted by heads of state. My employer is the President of the Republic. Her employer here is the President of her Republic, and so on and so on. So we are mandated. We don't have a choice. Our HQs immediately after that 25th of January will give guidance for the world. How do you conduct your Africa Days? What would be the content and so on? But it will be from Ethiopia in Addis Ababa. I think for now we're doing well in terms of the activities already that we've done. But let's not today give the dates, specific dates, because you may have an instruction that on the 25th of this you can only have this event, not anything else. So I'm worried of those things.
What the consul is explaining that the whole system and all procedure by
Glória,
the
tá falando em inglês.
o processo o processo vai estar nas mãos de autoridades, não vai ser
Sorry, maybe you need to
You want us
exchange.
to work?
change because sometimes
Ok.
Fala português, fala inglês.
Não, eu ajudo, eu te ajudo.
What do you want to say?
O Consul está falando que, é só para resumir, que não vamos trabalhar com datas agora específicas. Vamos primeiro trazer os projetos, terminar com quais são os grupos que vão trabalhar com quais eventos, depois a gente decidir as datas. E que isso tudo a gente vai depender tudo de uma decisão que venha da União Africana, que vem lá da Etiópia. Então, por enquanto, a gente vê quais são as comissões, os responsáveis, começa a trabalhar em cima disso para que na próxima reunião a gente tenha uma atualização. Ok. Oh, I have a question. Okay, my question is, for this African Day, we will have a cultural day or no?
we'll have
like a cultural day, as that we made in Paulista Avenue. It's just a question because we have this working group. So I would like just make sure that we will have or not, because we already have the economic forum, we have the opening. So just to make sure about this one.
You want to answer, Shanaz?
Oh, eu preciso fazer a tradução? Oh. Eu só perguntei se a gente vai ter o Dia Cultural da África.
That's fine. My take on that, I don't think it's really a bad idea to have it again. We will support that, but I think what is important is an emphasis on participation, because what we have noted this year, we prepared and then we went there. It was just a handful of us. We were not, the representation was not really as we expected. If we start to work early and make sure that we have convinced the participation which will be satisfactory, I think we can go ahead. But let the subcommittee that will be dealing with that convince this whole this group to say, indeed, they see that there is potential for participation of many people, because it doesn't help to go and occupy a space in Avenida Paulista and then you don't even exceed 20. Yet you are representing a continent of 54 countries. That is.
May I just have the translation?
Okay.
Colleagues, let me address this thing.
Só em português, né? Ele só clarificou que houve, esse ano foi fraco a participação e precisa, se tem garantia que vai ser forte e digna de 54 países, aí podemos fazer.
Yeah. First and foremost, can avoid to have a cultural activity. Not possible.
Não pode evitar atividades culturais, é
We
impossível.
already have African Cultural Center.
Nós temos o Centro Cultural Africano,
And that could be in various forms. It does not mean that we're supposed to go and stay at Paulista.
Paulista. Pode ser de qualquer outra maneira, não precisa necessariamente ser exatamente essa
Na Avenida
atividade.
Paulista.
But
Na Paulista.
secondly, even if you can go to Paulista, you become 5 or 6.
Mesmo 5 ou 6 que vão na Paulista,
You beat your drums and so on and talk about Africa, raise the African flag. Still okay.
wear our attire and raise African flags and no,
No. It's not about number. Not about the number.
não é questão de número,
It's about the message that you want to transmit.
a mensagem que você quer transmitir.
A struggle for freedom was started by very few people.
A luta pela liberdade foi iniciada por muito poucas
People
pessoas.
joined in the process.
E outras pessoas no processo se entregam.
When you do your cultural event, in as much as you have 2 drum beats, whatever it happens, it goes like that.
Se vocês são 5 tem
However,
tambor, aí pessoas vão responder. Porém,
it's correct that the people who must do organizing must strive to get as many people as possible.
porém, pessoas que a comissão responsável para a cultura realmente tem que esforçar muito para trazer muita gente.
It has never been a contradiction, what I say.
Não é contradição.
I'm a scholar, my sister. But I'm not a cultural scholar.
So we don't have a definition for who will coordinate this.
Who's,
No,
who's
we
the
start-
cultural day?
The Africa Cultural Center is already there.
Yeah, we have been doing what we have been doing to incorporate the culture is during our event, because the one we did at the Paulista that day, we have very few people, as a matter of fact. But the strategy that we normally do is to attract a kind of musician, like Brazilian musician with African musician. Then you put the crowd. Maybe we can work on this another strategy. The first strategy of calling simple musician it will not work. Well, you imagine calling one Brazilian musician to join with one African musician, then we put crowd. So we can work towards joining artists, African Brazilian artists to put the crowd. Just a way of changing the strategy.
Podemos estabelecer a visão que o senhor apresenta é que nós temos que achar grande artista brasileiro e africano e fazer, né, grande show, né, para atrair as pessoas.
Okay, I have some, I don't know, I'd just like to move because I think that we have already maybe 30 minutes or less than that, 30 minutes.
We're left with 15 minutes.
Okay. Just to, because I think that you actually have the same briefing points for Mr. Mohammed. So he just already participated in the Condimat. I think it was in Mogi das Cruzes, right, Nara? Nara.
Participou em Mogi das
Mogi, né?
Cruzes.
So if it will be possible and if everyone just agree that we can participate in the same thing, but with a huge commitment of the African countries to show more to people what we can prove of that, like what we can show, how do we work, what we have and what we don't have. It's like the economic forum. Emoji. A gente pode trabalhar em conjunto. Do you want me to make the translation?
Yeah,
Ok, é só para ver se o grupo da África quer trabalhar em conjunto com um evento que acontece em Mogi das Cruzes, que é o Condimat. É isso, Nara?
É um evento que nós convidamos o TIB e o pessoal de África para expor as oportunidades de África junto com os 11 municípios do consórcio do Condimat, em que inclui o Mogi das Cruzes.
E que é importante apresentar para a população a importância que a África tem no mundo, tanto na economia quanto na cultura. Can I continue? Oh, I just translated already.
You were translating to?
Yes, I'm just in Portuguese and English. I just finalized what my last words in English. Okay.
No, maybe point of clarity, those events also take place around the same time in May.
It was, I don't know.
Colleagues,
It was now.
Africa Day is in Africa is during what is called in Africa an Africa Month. So from the 1st of May to the 31st of May, you can have any other activity that you would want to have in honor of the Africa Day.
Africa Day está dentro do que se chama o mês da África, desde o 1º de maio até dia 30 de maio, pode manifestar qualquer atividade relacionada à África.
Yeah, it does not mean that if ever you must just zero into the 25th of May, then it's 25th of May is just a symbolic day that you need to observe. It's
Dia 25 de março.
It's like Christmas, or it's like something like that.
É dia simbólico dentro desse mês que a gente observa, mas pode fazer atividades.
So in other African countries, 25th of May is a holiday.
Para outros países, dia 25 de maio é feriado.
So, colleagues, maybe I should recap, probably as we gravitate towards conclusion. What is the thinking of this meeting?
Qual é o pensamento dessa reunião? Ele quer saber até no final desse.
Am I allowed?
Ele quer saber se permite que ele resume, faça resumo.
You were raising a hand. Maybe you...
No, it's fine. No, okay, I have some points. I think for this meeting, we just need to finalize with the commitments. We will work on that. And just to make sure that for the next meeting, we don't keep discussing for the same thing, and we have already working for the next year. I think that's it.
Ela quer sugerir que nessa reunião, dizer que discutimos tudo esses comissões, esses aspectos que nós discutimos, e para que concluir hoje, para que nós
Para poder dar continuidade nos
para
trabalhos.
atividades de trabalhos no próximo.
Acho que na próxima reunião, então,
She's
de
a-
apresentação
she's a
de
professional
projetos.
thief. She was beginning to steal what was in my mind.
I'm sorry.
A Afrochamber, ela sugere que próximo a gente apresenta projetos.
Aham. Projetos entregues na próxima reunião para que o senhor possa, então, enviar para a anuência da
The
União
projects.
Africana.
She suggesting that people should bring the projects and hand them over in the next meeting.
One,
Para,
we have a
by
secretariat.
the for approval.
We have a secretariat. Isn't so? And I think the secretariat was beginning to be taking minutes. And each and every one was taking notes. These are two different things, you remember? Minutes and notes. I was taking notes, I was not taking minutes. But the secretary was taking minutes.
We have a secretary. Who is the secretary?
Dina,
Was
I'm
taking-
here.
Dina.
So,
Okay, the secretary was pegou minutos, mas nós pegamos notas, anotações.
and the process
That's how
is going
different.
to be like this. All of us who coordinates several activities will hand over our proposed activity list, our proposals to the secretariat.
Tudo nós que temos muitas atividades, multi-atividades, vamos pegar todas as atividades e apresentar para a secretária. Secretariada.
Secretariat will compile a form of a program or a program of action of all of us. And that will be brought to the next meeting.
E ela vai juntar, né? Resumir tudo, né? Ações desse meeting e trazer para a próxima reunião.
Quem é o secretário?
Dina. Atrás, bem atrás.
So whatever people think that it's really important, it needs to happen in their areas of responsibility. They must make that proposal to the secretariat.
Qualquer coisa que pessoas acham importante para sugerir, tem que em sua comissão pode mandar para a secretária.
So the secretariat will compile that program.
Para ela pode compilar.
So the next meeting will then come adopt a program.
E essa reunião vai adotar o programa.
And as to how do we move forward? You want
Can
to
I make a
give
question? No, not an input, but a question.
Remember, you are not asking me, you are asking.
Everybody. But actually, okay, we have defined some of the commissions here. I would like to know which ones are not yet or are not represented here. The commissions. Are there any in the list that?
Okay, we already have the Economic Forum, that it's okay for the Afro Chamber in Centro Cultural Africa and the Cultural Center Africa. We have the opening, it's fine for the marathon. 2, we already need to figure out with the Cultural Day. Okay, I know that it's everyone to work on that.
what?
But the Cultural Day, and it's Centro Cultural Africa who will work on that, but I think that everyone needs to help with that. So each of the countries, everyone in the group needs to work and share with them what is important to show, what is not important to show.
African Center.
I will send that, no, of course, I will send for everyone.
Private.
Colleagues, one thing is for sure, when when information is sent to you, you need to respond back to the secretariat. When the secretariat sends you the information, I'm going to be monitoring what they will be doing. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'll be following that with keen interest.
Yeah, ele vai estar monitorando tudo que
But
vai estar
above
ocorrendo da
all-
informação com o
Above
secretariado.
all, if you have any other suggestion whatsoever, even it is not in your line of your responsibility, make that proposal to the secretariat.
Alone.
Say,
Okay.
I will not be. I might not be heading a committee on economic whatever, but I might have an opinion as to how should this happen. But the
Se tivesse qualquer sugestão, mesmo não é na sua área, e você vê outro, tem ideia, pode sim fazer sugestão para a secretariado.
So make, because the ultimate end, we want the event to be as much as participative as possible. Everybody must feel that it forms part of this specific event.
Nós desejamos que todo mundo, realmente, esse evento, todo mundo participar e sentir como parte desse, como dono.
Further, we are going to time frame this process now. We'll name and shame who does not respond, who responds. So from now, in the next 5 days,
Nos 5 dias próximos,
we would need submissions to be made to the secretariat.
por favor, faça sua submissão para o secretariado.
And we will write back to all of you to say who has not submitted, who has submitted.
E nós vamos fazer o follow-up, né? Que entregou, que não entregou.
In the next coming 10 days,
E nos 10 dias,
then there will be a draft proposal of a program.
terá esboço do programa.
So it will be sent to all of you
Vai ser mandado para vocês.
for input. And those who did not make an
Para
input
sugerir alguma coisa, né? Para crítica e
will put it
contribuição.
even the minutes that so and so did not make an input.
No final a gente vai falar, essa pessoa não fez contribuição. A gente
So
vai
by the
anotar.
end of this month,
No final desse mês,
we'll then convene again for formal adoption of a program.
terá reunião. Não entendi.
In the
Desculpa.
base.
No, at the end of the month,
We'll then convene another meeting.
no final do mês, aí vai ter outra reunião que vai trazer
Then adopt formally
e adotar
what it will be our program of action.
o que vai ser programa de ação.
So I hope by that time we would have agreed of the detail of
Desejo
what we envisage to become the Africa Month program.
Desejo que neste ponto nós teremos mais detalhes de como vai ser o
So
programa.
we have 2 to 3 weeks to detail what we envisage to be the Africa program.
Nós temos 3 semanas para realmente formar o que vai ser esse programa.
Is there anybody who's fundamentally opposed to this proposal?
Será que tem alguém que em oposição desse espaço, o programa que foi anunciado?
Para nós, ok.
Are we agreed?
Yes, we all agree.
Yes.
For the meeting agenda.
No. Can't adjourn the meeting.
Why?
Because on the minutes you have, on the items you were reading out, there was a last point where it referred to the airlines that are supposed, that were expected to be reported in this meeting on the status of the promotion code then there is also part of Standard Bank. I just wanted to check if those are here. Because if they were expected to be doing it now, and we live in this meeting, that part is not covered.
Me and you, have you ever, do you have anybody who's representing the airline? South African Airways?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the promotion.
So that's the point I was raising, to check if they are available and what is the status. If they are to report in the next meeting, so be it. But at least we are also afford them an opportunity.
Ok, tem outro comissão presente que não estava apresentado, que é da Airlines.
Da
Então,
South
nós temos
Africa.
a South African Airlines representativo aqui.
You know why I did not want to expose the South African Airways?
But let's not go there.
Because I represent South African Airways.
No, we have various.
South African Airways can't talk before I have spoken.
I just have another question. So, the next meeting is to be in the end of this month,
I think so, or the beginning of the month.
or the beginning of the month. So, where will be the another one? It will be like, I don't know. We just need to clarify, do you know why? Because we have now 12 people here, okay? So 2 of Afro Chamber, I think they are 3 from the Consul General of South Africa. I'm the only one of Egypt. UPF is here. Central African is on, and we have like a 52 people in the group. So we have, yes, it's a 52. And just for we can program that, and we force them to be in the another meeting, and to be sure that everyone is agreeing on that. I'm sorry.
Translate.
Ok, the suggestion here is
Tá em português.
para saber onde que vai ser o próximo reunião, se podemos decidir local para a próxima reunião, porque integrantes do grupo, hoje nós somos poucos, 12, mas no próximo, o grupo tem 52 pessoas e no próximo nós temos que incentivar mais gente para a participação.
I think you wanted to say something.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I wanted to say something along the same lines as what my colleague from South Africa said about the airlines. I think one point that was also raised during the last meeting was the absence of critical African consulados that are here in Sao Paulo that are not coming on board. And I think, I don't know whether today we have Angola represented. If we do not have, maybe, Mr. Chairman, you need to take note, and between yourself and your colleague from Egypt, I think you need to pursue that, because I think we need to have all the consuls coming on board, but conspicuously, Angola was conspicuous by, have been conspicuous by their absence.
The point is just raised on the participation of the consulates.
Acho que em português.
No, the consulates. Oh my God.
Os consulados
The consulado in
dos
Africa,
países africanos estarem
African-
presentes nas próximas reuniões.
Okay. Point taken.
Just to confirm on the meetings schedules that you were talking about, although you were not far off, we agreed to have meetings first Friday, every first week of
Yes.
each month. So in other words, according to that agreement, we already have a
You
date.
speak French?
You
Yes.
just go and say first Friday of the next month is
Yes.
this date. That is
Okay.
the date for the next meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
That was agreed.
Esse já foi estabelecido. Primeiro, have we established this already? The first Friday meeting? Is it already established? No reunião passado foi estabelecido que o dia para reuniões seria primeiro sexta-feira do mês. Então, podemos já só pensar no próximo sexta-feira.
Well, people, they are asking here if you would like the next meeting could be here, but we need to agree on that. I just want to make sure that we have a meeting so then we can just post in the group and everyone make notes about it. And I hope everyone will be here.
You decide.
Me?
Secretariat?
I cannot know. But we have you, so then you're Excellency, the Consul General of South Africa, so you can just like decide if it will be here or not.
I'm just cheering. I'm facilitating the
Okay.
meeting.
No, for
But
me
if
it's fine.
colleagues,
Like
if ever you
if
want
everyone
another-
agree with
the next
here, it's
meeting here,
perfectly
can we
fine.
agree? Any opposition?
We have one other option. If the option has not been concluded, we can take it. So he has one other option for us.
On UPF.
On UPL.
What?
It'll be on UPF. We have a UPF of
Yeah.
the options.
Yeah, we can count on us. Is on October?
October 4.
Yeah, that's fine. It's on what? Friday, Saturday?
Always Friday.
It's on Friday.
Friday, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. But there is something really bothering me a lot. Can I speak?
May I just make the translation first? Nós estamos aqui só decidindo qual vai ser a próxima reunião que nós combinamos na última reunião, que seriam todas as primeiras sexta-feiras do mês. Ok.
Eu vou falar em português.
Pode.
Tem alguma coisa que está me torturando.
There's something worrying him. Qua-
Cada vez que tem uma reunião, está faltando muito países africanos.
In every meeting, there are many countries missing, African countries missing.
Oh, it's about the African consulates that they are not here. We have only like I think 3 or 4 countries representing.
Yeah. Costa do Marfim, Senegal, esse país francês nunca apareceu.
Like the French-speaking country.
Eu posso.
Can I interject? You see, we organizationally, it's unfortunately there are only 3, 4
Yeah.
consulates that have a footing here. Zimbabwe, trade office is Egypt, it's
South Africa?
Angola,
Angola? Okay.
and you have Africa do Sul.
And Burkina Faso.
And I'm saying offices that governments.
Okay.
No, em São Paulo nós temos oficialmente, né, cônsulos 4, né, estabelecido África do Sul, Zimbábue, Angola e Egito, né.
But those are the consulates, like it's from the government, not the honorable consuls, right?
These are consulates,
Yes.
not honorable.
Yes.
There's
Yes,
a
yes,
difference here, colleagues. There are people who get direct mandates from their government. But
Essas são as pessoas que recebem a direção direta do governo, não honorário.
So those are two differences that we have.
Que diferença?
So you will not have other honorary consuls because they don't take mandate from direct. I'm saying they have mandates, but they don't get direct mandates.
Dentro dessa diferença, que cônsulos recebem a direção direta do governo, honorário não, ele não recebe direção direta. Então faz a diferença entre eles.
So, and if ever their head office, which is Brasilia, is not coming to the party, we can't do anything.
E esses países, eles têm embaixadas, né, em Brasília, mas esse a gente não tem controle.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I just would like to check if it's. Oh, I'm sorry. No.
De nós, one of us, de nós pode. Eu principalmente eu gostaria essa missão de ir nessas embaixadas, sentar e conversar e convencer para participar desses movimentos.
Temos a
Porque
Chamber,
tem que encontrar com ele e conversar.
A Chamber, ela tramita entre as embaixadas, a cada 2, 3 meses tem reuniões com todos os embaixadores africanos em Brasília.
African Chambers is already doing this process, having meetings with all the ambassadors, embassies of Africa in Brazil.
But we have an issue here. Okay, we are not working with the embassies because we are in São Paulo. So,
Aqui,
and by the way, the embassies they already have their African days.
Yes.
So we are working between us here in the consulate.
Yeah, I'm working.
So
I'm
what we
talking
need
about
to do, it's what
No, no, no,
we
colleagues.
already had.
Colleagues, no.
No, it's fine. sorry.
But
And
let me explain this
no,
point.
that's the reason why I did not want this to be discussed, because consulates have their own jurisdiction. In this case, our jurisdiction will be Sao Paulo, and those that have other extended mandates, it will be in other states. But for now, embassies have their program, as she was trying to explain. They have their program, which is not part of our program. So, if there are concerns, can colleagues raise it with, if they know that there are other missions or consulates that are not participating, that we don't know, could they raise with those consulates and tell? Because from where I see it, we are only having 4. And others,
Explico.
and I needed to conclude this thing because I've already taken away my 15 minutes of where I was supposed to be. But lastly, I will, there's one concern that colleague.
Posso explicar isso?
Se você quiser, eu traduzo depois. Não tem problema.
Que acho que em duas palavras, cônsulos e embaixadas são separados, eles não trabalham juntos, porque embaixadas têm programas dele de dia 25 em Brasília. Aqui em São Paulo, nós temos cônsulos, e os cônsulos, o que podemos é levantar, se conhecemos cônsulos que não estão aqui, a gente trazer.
General Consuls.
General Consul.
Em São Paulo.
Okay, I think later I want to talk to her and see if we can work together on this kind of calling consulate. Okay.
Your Excellency, I just would like to raise a concern, besides this meeting. On the 30th of August, there was a seminar coordinated by Congimat, and it was about the opportunities in South Africa, in Africa as a continent. And unfortunately, South Africa was not invited, as well as Zimbabwe, which is part of the continent. And it's quite disturbing because we are 54 countries in Africa. And obviously, like you said, we are 4 very strong countries that are represented here in São Paulo. My secretary was just asked a day before whether I'm available, which means that the program was already submitted, invitations were already gone out, and this was a last and an afterthought. So I'm very concerned because, as I can see, it's just Egypt and Wavers Bay which is represented, and South Africa, Zimbabwe, there's nowhere to be found.
May I just say
I'm speaking, Dina. So I'm just raising that concern that we work. The African continent is made up of 54 countries, and not only Egypt and Namibia. So if we can just raise that concern that when it comes to topics like opportunities in Africa, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and the rest of the countries that are represented here should also be invited. Thank you.
May I take a word? I think okay, yes.
Colleagues, it's just a concern, and a concern does not need a debate. What we can be able to do is to say that maybe organizers, Shanas, you may, those, if ever there's a response, you may be able to meet with the organizers. But let me part this way as we conclude. You see, I don't want to serve in a body that is really divided, or a body that has ulterior motives. I'm not. And I can tell you, I will have more time to play chess with MJ than to go to meetings where you are pushing a particular agenda that seeks to divide Africa. I think all of us are meeting here because we are Africanists. We are Pan-Africanists. We want to see the success of Africa. And this is my appeal. That whatever events you have, please try to inform each other. Sometimes we go to an extent of informing you, even if our ministers comes. It's not that because we say come, but we just say no. Take note that one minister of us will be in São Paulo, will stay a day. We are doing so for purpose that if you have any other proposal, that when they meet officials here, they meet government departments, you are able to raise. When the delegation from Egypt came here, the colleague told me, no, I have these officers, this thing, and I said, please, there are these other things that if ever they can find ways of being raised with the officials, raise them. And that's how we do. We live doing so because any other issue that can be resolved will be resolved for the benefit of the people of Africa, not for the South African people or for anybody else. If we have problems in the airports, we always talk to each other if there are these problems at the airport, but so and so can help you. So it's precisely because we want that everything that we do must be able to benefit the people of Africa. Not for me, not for anybody else, but for the entire African public. I'll urge that if we have any other programs, activities that are geared towards Africa, those that we know then we are having contact. I know we have a contact of a guy from, is it this guy in Campinas? He's a consulate from Togo. Is it Togo? One guy that I thought probably is an omission that I could give you the contacts of him. So as that everybody else must be included in all activities that are geared towards promotion of Africa. Africa should not be, it's now or never that we need a united Africa. Our principals have already signed a free, the entire continental free trade. So why us here? Why us here? When our leaders have already signed this thing, all of them, without exception, have signed a free continental trade for the benefit of the all African countries. When we go into a multinational forums, all are what we call REC members, leaders who represent regions, are invited. We are currently co-chairing what you called what is this, FOCAC, with Egypt. We are alternating all the time. And for what? For the benefit of the African people. We are not saying, no, Egypt, it's your time, look for yourself. Don't invite these other African people. When we have our time, all the time, the president of Egypt will always send a representative to South Africa when we have FOCAC. It's because we are looking at the interest of the African people. We say, when you have your event in Egypt, in Cairo, to ensure that you invite people. When we have events in South Africa, Pretoria or whatever, invite the African people, invite all REC leaders. So we can't redefine ourselves. And how do we exclude each other in foreign lands? It doesn't happen that way. So if it happens that way, it means we are in wrong forums. So can I please pause because and gravitate was conclude this meeting. I'm already 20 minutes late. I'm supposed to be at the University of Sao Paulo already.
Okay, I just want to know if, what about the next meeting, where will be? No. Okay.
The next meeting.
4th October.
Okay. I'm told it's the first week of.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have, by the way, 2 places. Left,
Yeah.
and we have already here. They are just like asking if you would like to make another meeting here again.
Either or.
UPF
Decide.
is fine.
I would like to ask everyone here when they prefer to do that.
No.
For me, it's
UPF is
perfectly
fine.
fine here. I think it's in the middle for everyone.
Yes.
On the numbers, so a place where it can really accommodate.
Colleagues, we can't sit and discuss a venue. The Secretariat, when it finds the venue, it communicates to you on the basis, then you go. So we can't really, it's wasting a very good, precious time. Madam, if there's a venue here confirmed, it's available, confirm the venue.
It's okay here.
All right. Thank
So
you.
we'll be here, right? Thank you. Vou traduzindo no microfone? Tá, a próxima reunião, então, do African Day vai acontecer no dia 4 de outubro, na Assembleia Legislativa, nessa mesma sala. Aí tá bom. Aí vai ter a confirmação da sala.
They would have come.
Thank you.
Exactly. And I was deliberately not.
Vamos lá.
Because he wants to interview.
Ali, Bob. Agora. Paga aberto.
Você também. Come here. Yes.
Sei como é que é. Tá vendo, né?